Hi, good morning everyone. This is Natasha and you've met the rest of us. So we're here today to discuss smart home, how is it transforming the way we live, work and play. Now I just want you to think for a moment, what is smart and what is home? Smart is about doing things better and home is about personalizing it to the user and the habitant of the space. So let's keep that thought in mind as we proceed. The smart and connected technologies are revolutionizing the way that we live, work and play. From smart homes to cities to autonomous vehicles to Internet of Things is connecting everything, as we've seen in the presentations before this. At the heart of all of this transformation lies the ability to collect, analyze and act on a lot of data that is constantly being processed. This enables us to optimize our environments, the way we live, whether it's about being eco-friendly or convenient or efficient, and to be able to do more than we would be able to achieve otherwise. There's a wide range of products and services in this space, from voice assistants to smart thermostats to a lot of apps, and they offer a wealth of opportunities to everyone present here today to make life better and smarter, and of course, customized to me and my home. But there's a lot of challenges that come with this smartness, including security concerns, privacy, ethical considerations, and use of personal data. As this space continues to evolve, I think it will be critical for all stakeholders present here at this event to ensure that smart technologies and the features and products that we endorse and refer are in sync with being responsible and sustainable. So we have here with us a panel today, I think we have Sameer from Havells and Vineet from Vinshek, representing the touch points of automation and the minds behind it. And we have Meena and Sarab here representing the design ideologies and I would say the human touch of adding that smartness to our spaces. So let's begin. So let's start with, as we speak about the smart homes, let's start with the tangible and the seen, the touch points, and the actual act of making a home smarter with technologies and products. So I'm going to start with Sameer here. My first question is to you. Now, Havells is a leading brand in the switches segment. How has connected living changed in the past decade? Going from switches to being, voice-led, going from wired to being wireless. How has Havells as a company been at the helm of this transformation?
Sure, I'll just answer that question in a very simple manner. So I've been associated with this industry for close to 15 years, and I've seen it evolve from a standalone sensors perspective to communicating devices and now towards wireless infrastructure. So it's changed a lot, and there are a few key trends which have really enabled this change. So one is obviously wireless communication protocols have become very cheap, and those devices are much more affordable now. And how that has enabled things is that now they are available in very small modular retrofit switches. So which has really made the installation of home automation systems in today's modern homes very, very easy and affordable. So from a solution which used to cost on a wired platform maybe 10 lakh rupees, it's possible to do similar or simpler functionalities in less than 50,000 rupees. So that kind of affordability has really changed drastically. Then there have been certain transitions. So COVID was also a phase which really made people spend a lot of time in their homes, and they realized the importance of smart gadgets and being able to do more things in the same amount of time. So because smart products, the objective is to simplify your life and make it more comfortable and convenient and save energy. So with all the new slew of devices which have started coming in, it's very easy to do that. And the simplest device that I'm sure all of you would have in your home is a smart TV. So it's a Wi-Fi connected smart TV which streams OTT content. But what you don't realize is that apart from the TV, you have other things like, for example, I'll give you an example of a smart socket. So all of you have water heaters in your home. But you have to get up in the morning to switch on the geyser when you want a bath, and probably you have to do it very early at 5 o'clock in the morning. But there's a very simple device available now. It's called as a smart socket, which is a Wi-Fi connected IoT device which allows you to schedule it so that your geyser would switch on automatically in the morning. And that device, for example, costs 1,000 rupees. And the kind of utility and the payback period that it offers, it's phenomenal. Like within 6 months, you can get payback. And the amount of convenience that these things add to a user's life is immeasurable. So that's the benefit. But that's how the whole transition has happened, is that these devices have become affordable, and they are now talking on a common platform, and that platform is typically Internet Protocol now. So irrespective of the device side communication protocols, now most of these devices can talk through the internet. So that language has unified all the devices together. So that has also triggered a lot of simplicity.
That's interesting. Now, my next question is to you, Vineet. As he's just spoken about product-led innovation, that there's a product and then there's the sockets, is all of that. And there's command-led innovation that, okay, I sort of press the button and my geyser comes on. What innovation do you expect to see in intuition-led innovations and automation, where the system will already know by the way of your lifestyle and by the way of studying you and reading you, of what you need and how to make it happen without actually touching anything or doing any activity? And what challenges does it bring to privacy and personal data exposure, to whether it's the network, whether it's a server, or whether it's even remote management of these devices that a lot of companies offer, such as yours?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Natasha. So, of course, this is one of the most important topics that is being discussed today in our market, where artificial intelligence or any other new technology which is coming in primarily will disrupt the way practically people use their homes, or practically whether the home will decide what should happen next. So, of course, artificial intelligence could be one of the main important topic. But more importantly, technology is made by humans for our own convenience and usage. So I think technology should not overrule us. So where practically AI is more about, I would say it's an algorithm which has been designed by people, which learns things and practically decide that, okay, at 4 o'clock, coffee should be made for Vineet, but practically I don't need the coffee at 4. So till the time practically it is for convenience, like a chat GPT, which gives me a convenience of get me a 250 letter done within a few seconds, that's absolutely usable. But getting into your life and deciding that how you are going to live your life, I think that's something little intrusive. And of course, any technology which practically brings you to the internet is prone to security threats. So that's what we all have to understand and accept, that practically any opening up yourself to the internet world, or primarily allowing people to decide that what's going to happen in your house, of course it's going to be exposing you to different threats. And that's what being seen also. And that's why it is good to have a mixed approach, where practically you can have more of a localized control and let the customer decide that, okay, if I want my lights to come on practically at evening time every day, I think that's logical, but not the system decide that, okay, it should come at 6 o'clock, it should be at Suryast, simple, it should be at sunset, it's logical, but not something which is based on a AI platform, because even the AI algorithm, who decides and who confirms that it is correct? Because I write an algorithm which might not be correct for majority of the people. That's how I see that accepting anything and everything should be practical, should be usable, should not be very flashy, should not be impractical eventually. Thank you.
So that's interesting, because AI is, of course, developed by humans, and there is always a human in the loop. And the interesting part to always believe, and I always believe that, is that there's a bias that is built into the AI based on the human in the loop. And that's really what controls you sometimes without your intent or without your need, and that's something we must prevent. So coming to the intangible of automation, and that's actually design, as my next question is to you, Sarab. There's so much changing on this landscape, and every time we come to any of these expos, things move so fast. So as a designer, how do you really keep up with the advances, with the new technologies, with the new features that you can offer to your clients? And how is it that you storytell the smartness that you can design for them to a client?
Firstly, thank you for inviting me to this panel. I think this this topic is a very hot topic right now, with technology and AI being at the forefront. The reality, though, is something I was discussing before, and I discussed with Vineet, is that actually we are very far behind even in the the acceptance of smart technology as far as clients go. Clients are busy in their own life, in their own work, and when it comes to a high-end luxury project, home, office, retail, hotel, one has to start at a level which is many, many, many steps behind where we are right now, even in this, in this discussion, in this whole expo. So the opportunity is vast, because it's like smart technology for a building is like personal hygiene. You have to have it. But to even reach that level today, surprisingly, it's like you're starting from many steps behind to educate a client who's well-traveled, very affluent, very up-to-date with technology. But the industry has not presented itself as a whole. It's still very fragmented, relies on a lot of imports. It doesn't have brand recall. So, you know, like, I mean, if you think of a smartphone, if you think of an iPhone, you think of Apple, oh, they've got it sorted, they've covered it. So the acceptance level at any price is okay. You know, you think of Samsung as a big technology brand, they've got a great, you know, Android phone, it costs XYZ money, it's acceptable. But smart technology, in spite of being as important, has not had that kind of driver or a single you know, a background that allows it to be accepted, yeah, by everyone and fast. So architects have to start educating the client from day one. Ke dekho ye aise bhi hota hai. You don't need switches. You'll have 200 lights. He'll say what, 500 lights in the will? No, 500 to nahi ho sakta. Then you start counting. There are much more than 500 actually. So the number of you know, pieces, the number of the aspect of it actually has evolved a lot. The awareness to clients has not evolved in the same way. So, I mean, expos like this should actually be targeted, I was telling Vineet, to clients, not only to the industry. So it makes our job easier. They are already there. Now it's between choosing at what level of smart technology they want, or at what level they want to pay. The fact that it's important or you can't live without it, I think that time has gone actually. You can't have hundreds of switches. It's not possible. And you can't come into a living room and turn on, you know, so many switches to turn on basic lights and curtains and air conditioning. It's not possible. It's a bit like air conditioning. People used to discuss this 20 years ago. People used to talk, oh, you know, it'll be air conditioned, or, you know, what kind of air conditioning. Today it's an absolute basic benchmark is a beautifully air conditioned space, temperature controlled, the best VRV or VRF technology available, the best brands in the world. So I think smart technology for homes, if we are able to, you know, push this threshold, educate clients. It's easy to educate architects. We are all very intelligent and very, very well qualified. We pick it up very fast. The clients at the same time who have to pay the money, you know, feel that what options do they have? And it takes us months and weeks to educate them on, you know, ऐसे भी हो सकता है, वैसे भी हो सकता है, इसमें आपको ये benefit आएगा. So, you know, if I was to talk about the geyser, how early it'll is, you know, they'll come up with some reason कि नहीं वो तो हम तो ना गर्म पानी से नहाते ही नहीं है. And the whole topic goes backwards because it's open. So if we should actually, this platform should not have open, you know, topics. It is well beyond that, you know, level. Now we are talking about, you know, the latest technology in this. And I think other than personal and private clients and high net worth individuals, I think developers have a very big role to play in this. It is today you can buy an apartment for $2 million of a top developer in India who is one of the top developers of the world, and it does not come with automation. I mean, so there's still switches there, you know, and they've appreciated the apartments are 10 crores for apartment. I mean, you know, NCR has high value retail. There's no concept of automation, even basic primary automation. So it's not being introduced to a high quality individual who's intelligent, who's upwardly mobile, and who's buying real estate. So it's not infiltrating into it. So I think that's really where, developers should be part of an expo like this. They should be brought up. They should be on panels like this to be able to bring, especially in the north, I think, to bring it into mainstream, to make it accessible. To talk about the virtue of smart technology at this stage for me, I mean, I don't need to. It's way beyond that level. It's like talking about your smartphone. It really does this. WhatsApp bhi bhej sakte ho. We are way past that level, and some of the products on display, the quality, the finishes is outstanding. And which client would not want it? But it has to be presented to him like a fait accompli. It's already there. Now you have to choose between this level or that level, And it should be into the building construction price. It's like wiring. You can't talk about the price of wiring or copper plumbing. It's built in the price. I mean, that's the price of construction. So even this should not be offered as a separate element. That, this will cost you so many lakhs. It's part of your construction, could be part of a square foot cost or whatever cost that he likes. I think that's where we are.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really a very valid point, that it's automation and smart home technologies are still presented like a gimmick. Yeah. In principle in the communication. So that's, I would say, a loss of opportunity or an opportunity cost, or probably a marketing strategy right there for Havells and Vinshek. I think that's super. My next question is going to be to Meena. Now, this is going a little ahead of design. This is actually implementing and executing the smart home technologies into the tangible construction methods. So in your experience in the past decade, how have you seen the collaboration between all the stakeholders of smart homes? How has the knowledge base and the exposure and the way they kind of come together to make it all happen like magic? Eventually, how has that changed over the past decade?
So, Natasha, see, it's a collaborative industry that we are all part of. So, there is no such thing that, I'll take the decision and it gets implemented. So, first and foremost, as Sarab just rightfully said, there's this chain of people and the client is at the helm of things. So, first, the challenge starts right at the onset of the project, where you have to describe and you have to discuss and debate whether how much of the smart technology is a necessity and how much of it is a luxury. So that definition needs to be first and foremost clarified. Then the decision, okay, this is what we are going to go with, and this we will probably leave for later. That decision comes out. The next challenge is the implementation. Now, in India, the construction industry is a super, super disorganized sector. You have farmers and craftsmen turning into construction workers the next day. So there is no, what would you say, you can't figure out one from the other when you're hiring someone. And when something new comes in, obviously it will bring a kind of challenge with it. Now, for instance, an electrician who's used to working in a certain way, in a very disorganized way, and that's what he charges for. Suddenly, when he's asked to collaborate with an intelligent technology like this, he will obviously have to work in a very different manner. So obviously the cost goes up. And then again, the debate comes back to, whether we need this or we don't need this. So I think the labor management is a huge challenge as far as putting something in new is concerned. But I think it's just a matter of time. And once people know that this is something that's going to be there in whatever ratio, people do, they will get used to it. So the labor challenge is there. The other one is, of course, retrofitting. Old buildings and things, that is always a challenge, because you need to look at the structure, you need to look at how much of an intrusion do you really want to make in the structure. But I think technology does play a role there. You have wireless technology to help you in those certain areas. The third challenge is again the client, back to the client, which is you have people of all age groups in a house. Now you have a Gen Z kid who, for him, all this is a plaything. Okay, so they are born with technology. They adapt to it like fish to water. Then you have us millennials who've learned this. Then you also have the senior citizens. They will take up only things which are easy to operate. So operability is something that needs to span all generations, and that's how we choose, what technology to build in. So that's primarily as far as the end user and implementation. I think it's a matter of what we want to put in. Then I think everything else kind of flows in together.
Yeah, I mean, that I totally agree with. That the last mile that we have to capture in our industry, I mean, across the board, is probably the hardest. And I mean, that would bring me to my next question to both of you, in fact, Vineet and Samir, being at the helm of creating technologies. What innovations do you actually foresee at the top, which is the actual product and the technology? And what do you think you need to do to integrate the last mile and the training segment, whether it's the labor, the supervisors, where using automation products and wiring them and understanding them is just a natural way to be?
So I think the easiest way to do it is to make the product as easy to wire and kind of install as a switch. So if we can achieve that objective, it's very easy for an electrician to install it. One, that's very important. And second is there has to be the expertise within the company to deploy it on a large scale to the field level staff. That's also critical, which is why the company needs to have a large presence and a large team of field support technicians. That's one of the strengths of Havells. So incidentally, it's not just about simplifying the technology, that's one aspect. Second is there has to be a societal benefit. Because till the time that we're talking about smart homes as an individual user, and it's kind of been perceived like a vanity, but it has to move away from that perception into one of something which benefits the society and can contribute towards the smart city. And one of the biggest objectives can be energy efficiency. So for example, we know that the grid in every single city is overloaded. So if these smart devices are practically saving energy, and when there is a shortage of energy in the grid can send out a command to those smart devices and they can practically reduce their load. And that can give a major benefit that your grid is saved from shutdowns and power outages. So that can be a major benefit. Then secondly, in terms of user adoption, it has to become a de facto that people should not need to think about a smart home. They should pick up those devices which are automatically smart, whether or not they use those features or not. Companies should start offering them by default. Like for example, what Havells is trying to do is trying to give smart geysers to people, whether or not they use those functionalities up to the user. But practically that is what every company needs to start doing, is that you make your washing machine smart, you make your AC smart, and then eventually users will see the benefit, and that's how easy it should be.
Yeah, so next innovation, I am working on one important project with the Breathe Fresh. I feel that controlling lights, AC, audio, video is it's being regular and it's practically normal now in our daily life. Post-COVID, practically we got time to think eventually what's happening around us. And that's where now what I'm working on is that your PM 2.5, humidity level, all this air quality measurements practically have definitely, they pose hazards to your body. But there is no active monitoring of it, and eventually if there can be a system which practically automatically monitors your house, room, air quality, which could be PM 2.5, or it could be humidity levels, it could be CO2 levels, radon, radioactive rays or radioactive particles. And if it can manage your other systems like HVAC, your fresh air system, which practically we've been deploying it now very, very actively. And with that, we see that I'm doing this in my cabin itself. So practically where if the PM 2.5 goes about 30, my practically air freshener or practically the humidifier automatically gets on. If the humidity level in my cabin goes high, primarily my AC gets on and it brings down the humidity level. So with that, practically I'm managing, and this is all being managed by my automation system. I'm not doing anything at my level. This is auto-managed, and this is, I feel, the biggest opportunity or every home should have. And that's why what Natasha said, that we should be aware what is must-have and can-haves. And I think must-have is that every home should have this. Simple.
Yeah, so that's interesting that we need integration, and perhaps it's coming along the way of smart homes and technologies at, like Samir said, at the urban level, and as Vineet has said, on the environmental level, for absolute well-being and efficient productivity of the city or the urban scale as a whole. My next question is to Sarab and Meena collectively, that cite examples, individually of course, of of how smart home technologies have actually brought that sparkle in someone's life, and not just the aesthetic side of it, actually changed the way someone lived, or the way they kind of interacted with their environment.
So I think, may I? I just start, sorry. Yeah. So one of the key things that gave a huge push to technology was the pandemic. And it made us all learn the importance, and also made us a little more fearless with technology and its usage in our everyday lives. So I think that was the time when people realized, one is of course the aesthetics also. For instance, everybody was caught up at home, and now the same space would be used as a study in the day or an office in the day, and as a recreational area in the evening. So you had, imagine you have different lighting systems at the push of a button. Suddenly the space transforms completely. What you need for a Zoom call is very different for what you need with an evening with your friends. So that was one thing. Then also there were a lot of mental health issues which cropped up during the pandemic, because people were stuck indoors. And some of these issues have light therapy at the core of it, of the solution. So light therapy forms a huge part of the solution, and we had people come to us to talk about this, and what kind of light do you need. So some people respond to certain light better, and so we had to do all of that. Also, you imagine your parents getting caught up in another city, and you are in another city. So again, technology came to the rescue there as well. We do schools as well. Now, schools were one of the worst affected, because they just shut down, because you were just afraid that your kid is going to go to school and they're going to come back with something. And so suddenly the air quality index of the classrooms, had to be monitored. And, we had so much of tech being pushed in there to understand, okay, are we breathing safe air or not? And I think that has kind of stayed after the pandemic also, and so it's now kind of part of our extended life, and I think very happy about that change. Yeah.
So I think the most noteworthy, aspect of in our projects has for technology, smart technology, has been lighting. It's the most noticeable, and we find that our clients accept air conditioning quality, infrastructure quality very fast, very easily. But lighting plays a very dramatic role, and the number of and the quality of lights you can have, the effect the lights create, the moods they create, are immediately noticeable. And it's also to the end, to the owner of the project, but also to visitors. And I think that impact has been most important to us. So wherever projects, we have really focused on the lighting, and we have sometimes had to separate air conditioning, curtains, automation from the lighting, to make it a little easier for them to use. And the fear which is there, that if something goes wrong, the whole system will, we won't be able to operate even the air conditioning and stuff like that. So there's been a lot of focus on lighting, on the moods, on the types of lighting, the fixtures, the lux levels, the hues, and that has created the maximum impact. It's most noticeable, and not only in indoors but even for outdoors. So facade lighting, if it is on automation, if you have a garden and landscape lighting on automation, driveway lighting and the indoors, it creates a real wow factor which people notice, and if it changes during the course of their experiencing it, so it's kind of dynamic. If they come in, say, 6 o'clock somewhere, and they are there in, being entertained till, say, 8 o'clock, and things are changing, that dynamicness is something that they really admire, and it leads to queries also. Oh, how is this done? And, it can push this field forward.
So yes, I think lighting has been probably the most innovated in the whole smart home space as such. But yes, we definitely look forward to more focus on sustainable and eco-friendly aspects as well in the coming innovations. And I just want to share a small example. I think most of us at the helm of when the automation and smart room lighting was coming in, we've all been to hotels where we've struggled with switching on, switching off, this light comes on, the two-way switches, and that's really been a challenge. But what I noticed is there's something called a generation gap. So we being digital migrants adapt eventually. But I see my teenage son who just is so seamless and just sort of knows intuitively on how it's going to work. So I think as we move forward, that adoption and that understanding or that comfort will be automatically there beyond just lighting, I suppose. So since we have some time, I'm just going to quickly go into a short, I would say, rapid fire. So we'll start from Meena. My first question is, it's a single word rapid fire. Wired or wireless?
Wireless.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Wired or wireless automation?
Wireless any day.
Oh, it's same for me? Wired.
I would say wired.
Reliable wireless.
That's a good one, yeah. Okay, the next one is seen or the unseen. What kind of switches do you like? The operations in smart homes?
Seen but beautiful and minimal.
Seen and not on a phone.
So I think beautiful and elegant scene.
Seen.
Who is more important to the operation of a smart home? Ramu Bhaiya or the Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi.
Ramu Bhaiya might get your order cancelled. So I think Ramu Bhaiya is more important.
I think the Wi-Fi and the wife.
Good one.
So based on my experience, oh sorry, I can't explain. So HNIs, it is Ramu Bhaiya, and for middle class and lower middle class, it is practically the user themselves on phone.
Great. Thank you, everyone. This was a fun panel. Thank you to the great audience for hearing us out.